Good afternoon from Ibrox. Myself and Chris have travelled from Milan overnight here to Glasgow today. Lovely summer's day, but for Burnley, it's D-Day for them. Lose to Rangers and they could be virtually out of the competition. In fact, they will be out of the competition at the first round phase. They can ill afford a defeat here today. A draw would still keep them in contention, but Rangers now know if they get 3 points here, they are guaranteed to go through, along with AC Milan, who, as you saw last night, beat Santos. But Burnley, we've got to stay positive for them. They played Rangers once before, okay, the pre-season friendly, but they won it. So they've got to believe in themselves here today. Let's take a check of that Rangers side, but they've got to face the likes of Ali McCoist and David Cooper. Paul Gascoigne, the former Burnley player, comes up, and Ian Durrant is one they've got to watch. He got the winning goal in the first match against Santos. Burnley, well, they're going to go with Jay Rodriguez and Charlie Austin up front. Ryan Jensen keeps his place in goal. Thomas, Davis, Duff and Parkinson will have an enviable chance trying to keep the likes of Ali McCoist quiet. So Rangers in the blue shirts to get us underway. White shorts, red socks, get us underway. Burnley need, I tell you, in Clarendon blue. And Chris, this is real D-Day for Burnley here on a beautiful afternoon here in Glasgow.
Yeah, surprising. We've got glorious sunshine in Glasgow today. But yes, it's a must-win for Burnley. If they lose this, both them and Santos are out, and AC Milan and Rangers go through. But obviously, Rangers will know that they've got AC Milan as their next game, so they'll be looking to win this one to sort themselves out for the knockout stage.
Let's all hope for a Burnley win from an English perspective, because it's an England-Scotland clash, and it's very summer-related to say that we are in Glasgow and usually rains and mists up in Scotland. Here's McCoist, good chance, good save, Jensen, danger there. Oh, I thought for a moment Rangers were going to get on the rebound, but Ali McCoist there having an early sighter. Now Austin, can Burnley get themselves on the board here? Leighton James, Charlie Austin. James again, Adamson, chipping it in there. James just losing out that time. Now Henderson for Rangers. He was the one who was poised to get in on the rebound. Oh, danger here, McCoist. Ali McCoist. Good tackle, good covering there by the Burnley defence. Steve Davis doing some good work. Oh, Rodriguez. He's pitched the ball. The hometown boy through. Yes! Yes, for Burnley! The hometown boy, Jay Rodriguez, has silenced the Ibrox crowd, and Burnley take the lead in the game. They should just quite simply have to win. What a start!
Goodness me, just wrap up a gift and hand it to Jay Rodriguez on a silver platter. Goodness, what a gift. Rodriguez will gobble those up all day long, and I don't think he can quite believe his luck. No real danger on, just didn't look up to see where Jay Rodriguez was, and well, he could have even played it to Austin if he'd put his head up, but he only had one thought in his mind, and that was sticking the ball in the back of the net. And Burnley, well, they've immediately got what they wanted, which was an early goal. Now they've got to keep hold of it at least, and they need these 3 points.
Well, they've gone the right way about starting, about getting them, that's for sure, and it will open the group up as far as second and third is concerned, because remember, oh, wait a moment, it's David Cooper at the other end, danger here. Oh, good save from Brian Jensen. The save is pulled off there in the opening 8 minutes. If it wasn't Jensen, Burnley could have been in even bigger trouble. Now Austin at the other end for Burnley. But we can't get ahead of ourselves, because remember what happened in Milan last night. Santos were 2 goals up and then lost. So we can't expect Burnley now. We can't even get ahead of ourselves if Burnley go 2 goals clear, because sometimes a 2-0 scoreline can be a very dangerous scoreline. Here's Brian Jensen. Burnley 1-0 ahead, made a perfect start. 2 good saves from Jensen, and then the gift for Jay Rodriguez. Could that be the slice of luck that gets Burnley back into this tournament? Let's just hope that's the case. Thomas to James. Austin. Holds it up well, finds Leighton James. Play that in. Gascoigne. John Gregg. Cooper here on the far side. Played in there, but Davis was there. Gascoigne, McCoist turning it back, and Graham Alexander turning it away. The former Scottish international. Quarter of an hour gone. Rangers 0, Burnley 1. Here's Ian Durant, who got that crucial winning goal in the first match away in Brazil against Santos. And Rodriguez is onside. Rodriguez playing the ball back. In fact, the flag went up rather late after it all happened. So, yeah, I don't know how long it took the linesman to put his flag up, but he got the decision right. But it took a long time, Chris, to get the flag up.
It might have taken him a split second to decide whether he really was offside or not. It was a very close decision, so it's nice to know that the linesman had to think about it first, but he did get the right call in the end.
And it's also frustrating now for us commentators who are certainly trying to fathom whether he's onside or not and all that jazz, but Cooper's definitely okay for offside. And here's Gascoigne. Oh, that's dangerous. Gascoigne, danger again. Good defensive work by Burnley, just having to put bodies on the line there. But Rangers still come again with Baxter. Now Robertson. But he hits Adamson. Now comes away to Charlie Austin. Has got Rodriguez on the ball if he can get there. And Jay Rodriguez is in. And good defending again by Rangers, because if that had gone in, then Rangers were in trouble. Henderson. Ian Durant. Durant's ball in. Danger here. Gascoigne was lurking. So too was McCoist, but James away valve for Burnley. Now Austin. 1-0 to Burnley after 20 minutes here at Ibrox. Burnley get the from. Mitchell Thomas to take it. Adamson to James. James's ball in. It's a dangerous one. It might. Well, it's not going to reach McElroy. It will be a Rangers throw in the end. Well, we've had halfway through the first half, Chris. Your assessment on how Burnley have performed in that 21 minutes?
Reasonable, but Rangers have sort of stayed on the front foot despite the fact that they were gone behind early. So it's still finely poised, this match.
He's Baxter now for Rangers. It's almost a mirror image of what happened in the San Siro really last night, because Milan were on the front foot for most of it, yet found themselves 2-0 down at the break. And Walter Smith will be in that changing room now, on that bench, worried. But here's McCoist who can bail them out. Oh, what a save! What a save from Brian Jensen again. That's 3 remarkable world-class saves that Gig Dane has pulled off and has kept Burnley in the lead.
What is it about these big Danes getting in the way of everything? It's becoming a recurring theme here.
Yes, Peter Schmeichel the other night, of course, for Manchester United, and now Brian Jensen this afternoon for Burnley. But Rangers are still not done yet. It is a corner. Apologies for the picture quality if you're there. And Jensen with a good fist out, but here's Gascoigne smashing it over, and the vast relief of everybody in the small town of Burnley. It's gone over the top, and Gascoigne, a former Burnley player, now that would have been a cruel blow for Burnley to have. Of all the ironies, Chris, if Gascoigne had scored there.
Well, he didn't score any for Burnley in his short time there. Nearly did in a big game, but unfortunately that free kick that everyone will know about didn't quite go in the back of the net.
Yes, I remember watching that free kick and I thought it was then. But here's McCoist at the other end now for Rangers. Durant waiting in the middle. Gascoigne again. Cooper. David Cooper. Corner. Came off Parkinson last, so a corner. No, it's not. Didn't come off. He must have come off David Cooper then. It's a goal kick to Burnley. We'll take that. Thomas. Apologies, Rangers fans. We don't mean to be biased, but being too clarist in the commentary box, too passionate Burnley fans, we want Burnley to do well, but that's no due disrespect to Rangers. They've played really well themselves up till now in this competition. And here's Leighton James playing it in. Oh, what a chance for Rodriguez, I think it might have been.
He just couldn't quite turn around the corner.
And if that had been on target though, only if it had been on target. In fact, it was Charlie Austin, in fact. My apologies there, but it just needed a more positive touch towards goal, and Stefan Kos might have been picking up the ball again for the second time. And Burnley have won it back really well, but have conceded a free kick. And it's Graham Alexander who's been accused there. Rangers fans all of a sudden getting really restless here. We've only been playing 30 minutes. Here's Terry Butcher to John Gregg. David Cooper. Cooper's ball in, and that should be away by Mike Duff. Now Rodriguez, the goal scorer, but could be one of the most crucial goals of the tournament as far as Burnley are concerned. McElroy, Adamson going forward, corner to Burnley. And they're suddenly starting to put a little bit of pressure on that Rangers defence. McElroy to take the corner. 2, 4, 5, 6 players lurking around that penalty area. And Rodriguez was in there, and the header comes in, but it's straight at Stefan Kos. It was Mike Duff, in fact, with a header forward. And it was just a half chance, Chris. But Burnley there, for the first time for a little while, there's starting to have a little bit of a threat at Rangers' goal.
That's the only real chance of note that I can really say since the goal.
Indeed. I thought Rangers might have come again here. Durant, who is always a danger as well as McCoist. Another one-man team by any stretch of the imagination. Rangers, as you would think. Alan McCoy scoring all those goals, 250 goals he got in his time at Rangers. But here's a chance now. Oh, he might break for Rodriguez. And Rodriguez, good save. Stefan Kos has kept Rangers in it. Good save that, Chris.
Yeah, I don't think he was expecting Rodriguez to shoot at the near post, but he's kept it covered, as you should as a goalkeeper.
Austin, who actually had the initial shot, and then Rodriguez, well, to be fair to Kos, he kept that near post very much covered here. Now, can Burnley get that second goal with 10 minutes to half time? It would be a real feather in their cap. Can James provide a good corner? He can! And the goalkeeper was in trouble. It's another Burnley corner, and Burnley now sensing blood. And they're going to go short, I think, to try and fool the Rangers defence. They are. James playing it in. Dangerous ball in, and it was almost the second goal then. The defender sweeping in at the back post. I don't know who it was, but it was a really well worked corner from Burnley. And it was Steve Davis. No, it wasn't, in fact. It was Gary Parkinson. What a chance that was, Chris. If that had gone in, well, we'd have been in delirium.
Well, if Gary Parkinson had scored, the roof would have come off regardless of it being the away team, considering everything that Gary Parkinson's had to deal with over recent times.
Yes, in real life he's fighting Alzheimer's, fighting very bad diseases at the moment. He's wheelchair bound at the moment, and we wish him and his family in real life all the very best, but he's very alive and kicking on this game for sure. So too is a couple of the Rangers players, David Cooper being one. He died at a very young age, I think about 39 when he died, and he's alive and well in this game as the header goes just narrowly wide from Alan McCoist.
I think that's the first real sniff at goal Ali McCoist has had in this game.
Yes, he might not have had any chances in this first half, but he's still Rangers' main source of goals in this team anyway. Got one, took a really good goal against Santos and put them in the lead in that match a week ago. Davis finding Thomas now. Burnley still holding that one goal lead, given to them rather fortuitously by the Rangers defence. Here's Leighton James. Austin, Robertson winning it. Now Terry Butcher. Durant to Baxter. And Baxter's giving it out, and it is a chance for Austin. He's lost out this time. Henderson forward for Rangers up towards McCoy. Davis has got to be on his medal, and he was there. Terrific defending there by Stevie Davis. Now Jimmy Adamson. Michael Duff has been a colossus along with Steve Davis at centre back so far as we go into the 41st minute of the game. Now Cooper. McCoy is onside. McCoy holds it up very well indeed. Back to infield to David Cooper. And up away again, and Burnley have survived everything that Rangers have thrown at them, and here's Austin on the counter-attack. And still Austin, and Rodriguez might get in there. Cross is just about hung on, and Burnley on the counter-attack have been absolutely superb. There's no doubt about that. As Rangers come to try again, and Duff gets it back to Jensen. Apart from the 3 saves he's pulled off, hasn't had much else to do. It looks as if J Rod's goal, the hometown boys' goal, is going to be enough really to send Burnley in with a narrow but priceless lead as we go into 1 minute of stoppage time at the end of a highly competitive first half, where they could have had more than the 1 goal in truth in this first half. Still right here with McCoy. Gascoigne continues to run. Gascoigne here, pulled back, oh danger, and it's been turned in by Ian Durant. He's got his 2nd goal in the tournament, and that is a real setback for the Clarets, but you've got to say, in all honesty, Rangers have threatened it, and it's heartbreak for Burnley right on the stroke of the break.
Well, it was that man Paul Gascoigne who set it up. They just waiting for the referee to blow his whistle for half time, and the whistle hasn't turned up. I mean, there was still a matter of seconds left, and they've just switched off. And Rangers, well, maybe Brian Jensen should have come out and claimed that. It's a good goal from Rangers, and they'll be very pleased to be coming in level after all the hard work they've put in and not come out with anything. So as for Burnley, they'll be bitterly disappointed, because I think that will probably be the last kick of the half.
Indeed it is, and that is half time, and Burnley will feel absolutely gutted. They put a lot of hard work into that half. Defensively they were sound, and then that one piece of defensive madness allowed Ian Durant to pop it to get the equaliser. So 1-1 at Ibrox. Your thoughts on the first half, Chris, as we take a well-earned breather here at half time, and Burnley will be feeling very, very blue right now, considering what they've just had to endure right at the end of that first half.
Yeah, it's been, I would say, one-way traffic. Possession-wise, it shows quite well, and the amount of shots that Rangers have had, although shots on target is level, it's been one-way traffic for the most part. Burnley have been playing reasonably well, considering they've had limited possession and limited chances, but they want to be a little bit sharper with their passes in the second half, and they want to create a few more chances, because they've got 2 strikers who are well and truly capable of scoring plenty of goals. And it's back to square one. They've got 45 minutes to get something. A draw isn't all doom and gloom. It would just mean that they would need to beat Santos going into the final game, and hope that Rangers or AC Milan, one of those 2 teams loses, which would give them a chance of going through.
Indeed. Well, it's a devastating blow for Burnley, but as I say, as we all both said now, a draw would not be the worst result in the world. They can ill afford to lose, and Burnley get us away here at Ibrox in this second half, knowing now they need to start positively again, like they did in the first half, although they rode their luck at times. And sometimes that luck was bound to run out, and Gascoigne and Ian Durant worked a real good equaliser between them, and that could really be a game changer right on half time. Let's hope Burnley can hang on in there and maybe pick up at least a point, which would give them still half a chance further. But they really could ideally be doing with 3 points here, and it needs to be a big second half performance. Oh, and here's Gascoigne of all the ironies, and what a last ditch tackle that was. I think it might have been Mike Duff who got back there. I don't think Jensen touched it, but I think it might have been a last-ditch challenge from Mike Duff, Chris. But Paul Gascoigne then about to pull the trigger, and that could have taken Burnley out of the tournament with it.
Could have done. Gascoigne has very much had a fire in his belly for this game. I can't tell who got the final touch there, but either way, it should be a corner.
And it is, and Baxter to take it. Burnley have to be on their medal here. And the ball in the air, Jensen, oh yeah, I think he could have caught that in fairness. Oh my goodness.
He wasn't one for catching,
Burnley,
was he?
No, he wasn't. And but Burnley making it, as they have done for so many years in real life, making it difficult for their fans and for two very nervous commentators. And here's the ball played back in again, and another desperate bit of defending there from Burnley. Now they've got a break on with Rodriguez. They just have not supported Rodriguez enough, I feel, going forward. Rangers now have the possession with Terry Butcher to Baxter to Gascoigne. Good football this from the Scottish side. Now Greg, the Rangers captain. Gascoigne. Ball played back in there, and Davis doing well because he knew McCoist was right behind him and put the thing in and put the trust in Brian Jensen there. Good ball out towards McElroy. McElroy strikes, but it's well wide of the goal in the end, and a goal kick for Rangers. But a little flurry there from Burnley, and a nice little counter forward into the opposition half. Now John Gregg. Gascoigne. Baxter. Gascoigne again. Cooper. And Gascoigne, lovely little flick round the corner. Danger here, McCoist, and a good tackle. Still not away. Durand, who got the equaliser, looking for his second goal. And Alexander comes away with the ball, but doubles on it a little bit, gets a little bit lucky, perhaps. Thomas now to James. Austin. And Rodriguez steals in. And didn't take the ball with him. McCoist. Cooper. McCoist again. Cooper. Ten minutes of this second half has been played. And there's two nervous commentators in this Ibrox commentary position, and are willing Burnley on here to try and get 3 points at least, to give them a real shot in the arm as far as this tournament's concerned. Again, good defence by Burnley. Here's Rodriguez. And again, Adamson. Austin losing out this time. Gascoigne in there straight away. Durant playing a good ball to Henderson. Davis again with a tackle. Alexander now to James. We've played an hour nearly. Burnley still hanging on in there at 1-1, but only just. Austin losing out again. Surely the time will be coming now for when substitutions do come into play in this game. Burnley need to make a couple, I think, to give themselves probably a bit more fresh legs, certainly in the midfield and certainly in attack. As hard as they've worked, Burnley, they just don't look as if they're going to penetrate that Rangers defence for a second time, and that's a real worry. McElroy's run out of pitch. Laudrup and Walters on for Henderson and now McCoist. The test does not get any easier for Burnley. Walter Smith deciding to throw caution to the wind here, as he wants 3 points and make sure they go through to the knockout rounds. Burnley need 3 points to stay in the competition and to drag Rangers back, as Rodriguez now goes on the break. Finds Parkinson. Parkinson playing it in towards Austin, and Austin gets a little bit unlucky there. Here's Mark Walters. Could have played for Liverpool as well, Mark Walters. All Aston Villa aren't in the competition. Here's Laudrup. Durant. Gascoigne. Danger here. Turned in. Oh, good tackle. Burnley now on the brink. They've got to hang on in there and pray that they can get an opportunity at the other end of the field. 25 minutes to go. It's too much to bear for some of us. Here's Rodriguez. Still Rodriguez, and now Austin! Austin! Yes! It's a brilliant goal! A goal out of nothing perhaps, but who cares? Burnley are in front again! again. And Ibrox once again in silence, apart from 3,000 Clarets who are going absolutely wild with glee. Charlie Austin strikes goal for Burnley, and how crucial a goal that could well prove to be. Rangers 1, Burnley 2. Charlie Austin has done it for the Clarets.
Rodriguez doing all this hard work here, puts it not exactly on a plate. He's still got a lot of work to do, Austin, but instead of trying to take the ball any further, he just decides, I'm just going to hit this. I think catches the goalkeeper off guard. It's arrowing right into the corner, straight as you like. And what a goal that was. Burnley now back in the position they were. They've just got to maybe hold on to it, or if that seems like a dangerous tactic in this tournament, they should probably go for a third. It seems the safer option in this tournament.
Yes, they've been teetering on the brink for some time, and Jensen catches one for once in his life, and that is a real feather in Burnley's cap now. That second goal, we needed a miracle, we've got one now. Two miracles really, and Rangers now, who were lucky to get a goal, 6 out of 6, and Graham Alexander has been booked. Now I don't know what for. The captain has been booked. I want to see what this was. Yeah, fair dues there. Foul on Baxter. So Alexander into the referee's notebook. Cooper replaced by Ronald de Boer, as Rangers look to try and save it. James. Free kick to Burnley. And Mitchell Thomas to take it. Sends that one into the mixer once again. Walters takes possession. Ronald de Boer in acres of space here. This is a real dangerous moment, but what a good tackle that was. He has been a hero for Burnley. 20 minutes to go. Burnley lead by 2-1 here at Ibrox in what's been a real intriguing encounter. It's been nerve-wracking for some of us here, certainly in the commentary box, and 3,000 Clarets now. Can they? Oh, Jensen, superb handling, because Laudrup is one of the world's deadliest finishers, or he was in his day, and Brian Jensen, his fellow countryman, has just saved Burnley's skin there. Burnley now must go for a third and really put clear daylight between themselves and Rangers. Rodriguez, they still haven't made a substitution, which could be crucial still. But they need to make a change here, Burnley. They have to. And Robbie Blake comes on to replace Leighton James. And not before time too. A bit of fresh slates could well be the key for Burnley now. And with Robbie Blake on, they've got every chance in the world. Coming up to the last quarter of an hour here. Burnley must hold on here, Chris. I think, you know, if they can hold on here, Chris, what a crucial 3 points here.
It would be a big victory, considering they've got Santos next, who, well, right now are crashing out. It'll be a favourable. It'll swing back in their favour as to trying to get through to the next round.
Indeed. Here's Gascoigne now. Oh, De Boer's in a lot of space. And still De Boer played in, and again Michael Duff, not for the first time, across there. What a game he's had. I have to say, he's got to be he's got to be one of the candidates for man in the match, and we'll have Chris's when we get towards the 85th minute again. If we go dice down a little bit, we'll get Chris's view on man in the match. Because I have to say, Michael Duff has surely got to be one of the possible shoo-ins for that honour, but that's not me to decide. It's for Chris alongside me in the commentary box to decide the man in the match. Here's Austin to Rodriguez, and those two have played out of their skins up front. More often than not, they've been isolated, but when they've had opportunities, both of them, they've taken anything that's been on offer, and they've taken it well. But the Burnley have got some defending to do now, as Ronald de Boer plays that in, and again Burnley defending with their lives, and Mike Duff in there again. What a game this centre-back has really had. Probably one of the games of his life. Here's Greg now for Rangers. Burnley now must keep their shape, discipline, not make any silly mistakes. And they've done it again. They've just hooked it out. Jimmy McElroy this time. Oh my word. We're now into the last 9 minutes. Can Burnley hang on in there? De Boer. And again the challenge is coming in. And again Bonnie's in the way. Davis this time. And away again. Up towards Rodriguez. Blake doing a bit of defending. He just took that clear with all his might there, Robbie Blake. And what a good tackle that was from Austin. But he couldn't get the ball away towards Rodriguez. Now Baxter. Oh, what a lovely challenge by Jimmy Adamson. Wonderful slide tackle. Burnley now really committing themselves and going for the jugular. Adamson. Good intelligent ball to Blake. Holds it up well. Robbie Blake for Burnley. Oh, the pass was a little bit loose down. He just needed to take his time then and really pick out the perfect ball. And he had lots of time there, Blake. I felt he rushed it a little bit. Coming up to 85 minutes. Man in the match time, Chris. In just a second as Burnley go on a canter forward. But Rangers will get that clear, no trouble at all. And, well, they're not going to get it away. We'll come back to man of the match in a moment because Burnley are on the attack here. Austin on the turn. Can he finish it off? Alexander's shot. Charged away by Gascoigne. And Walters away. And still Burnley on the attack here. Are they going to get a third one? No, they're not. So let's just again hang on for a second. There's the shot. Well held by Kloss. Man of the match time. Who's your selection going to be, Chris?
It's tough to call it. I think you should ask me when the game is up because there's a lot of candidates right now.
Well, we'll ask you then. But at the moment, 2 minutes to go. I have to say Mike Duff would be my choice, but at the moment it's not about who's... Oh, Blake went in a little bit from behind there, and that could be a booking. A little bit silly that from Robbie Blake, I have to be honest. Austin trying to appeal his better nature there, the referee, but he's got to cut much ice, to be honest. Right through the back of him there. So Blake on a yellow card. We're now into the final minute of the game. And then it will be down to stoppage time to decide how long will be added. Last 15 seconds, De Boer. Carlisle now as a substitute. Gets it back to Jensen. But what a game the Burnley back four have had. Rodriguez, 3 added minutes. We've had one of them almost. Can Burnley hang on in there for 3 precious points? It would just be so good. And a free kick to Rangers is not going to do the blood pressure any good. Yellow card given. And I think it might be Steve Davis. Foul here on Walters. And it was a foul. Davis just lunging in when it didn't need to be any bother. And now Burnley have got some defending to do as well. Nearly halfway through the allotted 3 minutes. And they didn't win the first header. Davis is there. Not very far though. Gascoigne trying to retrieve it for Rangers. And oh, good tackle. And Adamson exemplary there in his tackling. And the ability to find Rodriguez was second to none. Rodriguez is taking it as far up the field as he can, but his tired legs out there now. We've almost played the 3 minutes now. And Burnley have done it! They have done it! They've pulled off what could be a really crucial victory. They have played like lions here at Ibrox this afternoon in a game they needed to win. And 2 goals from Jay Rodriguez and Charlie Austin with an absolute screamer have won the game. Durant with the Rangers response. But there were so many heroes. Duff the defender, Jensen the goalkeeper who made some smart saves, Rodriguez and Austin the goal scorers. Well, we did say we'd come back to you for man of the match. Before you sum up the game, Chris, we've got to ask you who is going to be your man of the match.
It's a toss-up between Jimmy Adamson and Michael Duff. Both of them were absolute giants in terms of the defensive side of things. It's really hard to pick. I'm going to go with Michael Duff because he did it more in the penalty box than Jimmy Adamson, but Jimmy Adamson won the ball all over the park. So it's really between those two. But I'm gonna back Michael Duff for man of the match because I think he did some magnificent challenges. Certainly limited most of their strikers with opportunities in the box, and he was pretty much faultless all day. So that's why I'm going to give it to him. Indeed.
Well, so Michael Duff, man of the match, and well, I have to say, Chris, let's have your full assessment on what was a really big 3 crucial points for Burnley and how well deserved they were, because to keep Rangers out and to keep Alan McCoist at bay, well, it's going to take some doing, and they did that to the letter today, and I think they fully deserved the points, wouldn't you say, over the piece, Chris?
Well, that's probably debatable to a lot of people, because Rangers spent most of their time attacking. It was more Burnley soaking up the pressure, and you could probably argue that them soaking up the amount of pressure means that they deserve the victory. I mean, they took their chances when they came. I mean, obviously they were very isolated up front, Jay Rodriguez and Charlie Austin, but when they worked together really well, as proved by this goal. But once they got in the lead, they never really looked like losing the lead. They were just, the lads were so composed. The tackling was good. Alright, it got a little bit mistimed at the end. I mean, Robbie Blake doesn't really have the excuse of him being tired. That was just sloppy on his behalf. But you know, Davis with a tactical foul there. I think he took the yellow card to stop any Rangers breakaway. But you know, it was a fantastic game. We're a little bit more even than it looks statistic-wise. You know, the shots were fairly even, but Rangers had most of the ball. They were certainly launching the ball towards our goal a lot more. I say our goal, trying to stay impartial, towards Burnley's goal. But ultimately, I would say Burnley getting the result was probably just about fair, simply because of how well they defended and how clinical they were in front of goal. Surprisingly more shots on target than Rangers, which, considering how little chances that they had, they did reasonably well there. But fantastic game all round. Felt like an FA Cup tie, to be honest, the way it was going. You could tell it was a Battle of Britain, and it opens the group up now. So Rangers and Burnley level on points with 3. Obviously opens the door to Santos getting through now. I know their goal difference has taken a bit of a hit, but it gives them an opportunity. And AC Milan, they'll be very pleased, because now they'll be playing against a desperate Rangers side who, you know, have now got to play the team that is top of the group, whereas Burnley, on the other hand, have to duke it out with Santos. And it really does makes Group 4 look exceedingly more exciting, because the final set of matches, it's all still to play for. So a fantastic result in terms of entertainment for the group, and a fantastic result for Burnley, obviously.
Thank you very much indeed for your comments today. Very impartial comments. Although I'll have to be honest, Old habits die hard. But thank you very much indeed, Chris. Well, this was a game that Burnley really needed to win. A defeat here today would have been so devastatingly catastrophic, disastrous in fact, if they had a loss. But they didn't lose. They hung on in there. And you have to say, although Duffo got the man of the match, Mike Duff got the man of the match, and quite rightly so. I thought he deserved it as well. I have to concur with my co-commentator. He totally deserved it. I thought all 11 men played like lions out there today. They really dug in well against a very good Rangers attack. Let's not make any bones about that. They were always going to be finding it tough against the likes of McCoist, Gascoigne. They were threatening. Ian Durrant was probably Rangers' best player on the day, as far as I was concerned. But in the end, Burnley hung on in there, and those 2 goals from Rodriguez, although rather gifted to him, and that brilliant 30-yard extra set from Charlie Austin has given Burnley's campaign a real shot in the arm it desperately needed. 3 crucial points on the way back from Glasgow to East Lancashire, and Rangers have been mullered here at Ibrox by 2-1. Thank you very much for watching this one, and I tell you what, it will make the group of death very more interesting now. The final group second games to come in the next couple of days. Stay tuned for them, but until then, take care. Me and Chris will see you for the next lot of games tomorrow night. But here we're pleased to report that Burnley have gone to Ibrox, have been, seen and conquered. From Ibrox Stadium, take care, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.